Wisconsin is home to a whole lot of cheese, the Wisconsin Dells, and 12 operating roller coasters, 6 made of wood and 6 made of steel. This state has one of the highest concentrations of wood coasters out there. I have ridden 11 of the 12 roller coasters in Wisconsin, so in this video I will rank all of the coasters I have personally ridden in the Badger State. Starting off this list at number 11 is Sky Rangers at Tomfoolery's Adventure Park. This SBF Visa creation was the prototype microcoaster. This attraction has a very basic and small oval layout. You get more laps than you can count on this coaster, and it sort of feels more like a spinning ride because you rapidly complete the circuit, similar to a Himalaya. The ride has no real drops, but you do get some decent laterals through the station because none of the turns are banked. Number 10. Little Dipper at Little America. This Herschel kiddie coaster is a bit bumpy, but has two redeeming qualities. One, the bunny hills can offer a tiny bit of airtime. Second, the ride is literally located next to a cemetery. It's definitely one of the creepiest and most ominous views you can get on a coaster, and it occurs on a kiddie coaster no less. Number 9. Meteor at Little America. This PTC Junior wood coaster was relocated from the nearby Hillcrest Park. While the coaster itself doesn't really have any airtime nor laterals, it's very smooth, and the operator working the attraction really heightened the experience. He was pumping riders up, contorting his body wildly to dispatch riders, and offering bonus laps. I got 3 laps in each of my rides. Number 8. Miner Mike at Knuckleheads. Located indoors, this Wisdom Rides kiddie coaster has a much more expansive layout than your usual Miner Mike coasters. This one has some western theming alongside it, and it feels like a terrain coaster because it occupies multiple levels of the building. The start may not be anything special, but there is a super compact helix towards the end of the ride that offers some shockingly powerful laterals. Up next would have been Little Titans at Mount Olympus. Now, I haven't ridden this exact installation at Mount Olympus because the park doesn't allow adults on this Mylar kiddie coaster. However, I have ridden an exact clone of this ride at Oaks Park in Portland, Oregon in the Zoom coaster. This is one of the best kiddie coaster layouts out there. The initial drop has some good yank to it, and the final bunny hills feel like a bucking bull as they toss you about. Number 7. Swiss Toboggan at Little America. It had been over a decade since I had ridden one of these chance toboggans, and this is the last one out there, and I was able to enjoy it more this time around. The claustrophobic cages are 100% necessary because of this coaster's tight clearances, but most guests are dangerously close to the ceiling of the car, so it's possible to smash your head in the finale. That's what happened to me in my first ride in this when I rode at Lakemont Park. The key is to slouch downwards. Swiss Toboggan starts with one of the most terrifying lift hills in the world. It's a vertical lift hill in a dark central tube, and then you subject riders to a dizzying, seemingly never-ending spiral around that tube. Then the final bunny hills and turns are very sharp and abrupt. Swiss Toboggan still is not a very good ride, but I no longer think it's one of the worst coasters in the world, provided you slouch forwards. Number 6. Pegasus at Mount Olympus. The smallest wood coaster at Mount Olympus is a very weird ride, but I gained somewhat of an appreciation for its imperfections in 2021. This CCI looks like it should be your traditional junior wood coaster, but this ride is teeth. In many ways, it reminds me more of a Wild Mouse coaster. The middle section is a series of tight turns that offer some laterals, but it's just the warm-up for the finale. You have this really awkward kink into the brake run that comically tosses riders to the side. Pegasus is a flawed junior coaster since the roughness and laterals are probably not the best for an introductory coaster, but as a coaster enthusiast, I could appreciate this coaster's violence. Number 5. Mad Mouse at Little America. This Herschel Wild Mouse is a classic treat. The most special thing about this ride is the restraint system, or lack thereof. There isn't a seatbelt nor lap bar. This causes you to experience the coaster's forces to the fullest. Mad Mouse has increasingly strong laterals onto hairpin turns, and you will be slammed to the side of the car. Then the final hop into the brake run will frighteningly pop you out of your seat. It really comes out of nowhere. While this isn't the tallest Wild Mouse coaster out there, it barely even has a drop. It definitely put a smile on my face as it threw me about. Number 4. Zeus at Mount Olympus. This is a good out and back coaster from Custom Coasters International. For many years, this coaster was considered one of the roughest coasters out there, but ever since Zeus was retracted, it is running like a dream. The series of small bunny hills offer weak floater airtime, and the strongest airtime can be experienced entering and exiting the far turnaround. Mixed in with that airtime are some decent laterals on all the turns. Number 3. Cyclops at Mount Olympus. This CCI wood coaster was closed on my most recent visit to Mount Olympus because it was getting extensively retracted. I'm not sure if the profiling of the elements are being adjusted as it happened to the 5th drop in the past, but I hope they're not making any more track adjustments because I loved Cyclops in 2019. There is only one place to ride this coaster, in the back car. That is where you get some crazy ejector airtime. Everyone talks about the 5th drop, and that drop launched me sky high, but it's arguably outshined by the first 2 drops. Those 2 drops had even stronger airtime in my opinion. Then the underbank turns offer some laterals too. The ride had a shuffle to it in 2019, but I'm hoping the retracking can address this. I really enjoyed this coaster primarily for those violent 3 airtime moments. Number 2. Hades 360 at Mount Olympus. This is arguably the best coaster in Wisconsin. It definitely has the best layout. Hades 360 has a super aggressive and intense layout loaded with great ejector airtime, good laterals, and even a corkscrew. However, the ride has a fatal flaw. It is brutally rough. The train shakes and shimmies non-stop. The Timberliner trains do their best to absorb the blows, but Hades had me wincing with pain on a few rides. While this may not be a coaster I can marathon, the ride does have plenty of standout moments that ultimately make it a very good ride. It has one of the best pre-lifts in the world with multiple ejector pops. The first drop is massive and has some great sustained airtime. And then you have the legendary underground tunnel beneath the parking lot that will toss your body like a rag doll in all directions. If this coaster ever gets a full retracking and rides smoothly, it would not only place atop this list, but it would find itself in my top 10 wood coaster list. That is how good this layout is. And coming in number 1 is Zippin Pippin at Bay Beach Amusement Park. This is the most enjoyable roller coaster in Wisconsin. Zippin Pippin is the spiritual successor to the old ride of the same name that previously operated at Liberty Land in Tennessee. Gravity Group used the old blueprints and built this floater airtime machine. The first 2 drops offer strong and sustained airtime in the back rows. The middle of the ride has weaker airtime, but there's one hill in the return leg that offers one of the most violent and abrupt pops of ejector airtime in the world. It really comes out of nowhere. Zippin Pippin is an incredibly smooth ride, and it's a bargain too, as it costs just $1 to ride as of 2021. I have a separate review going into more detail, but Zippin Pippin is just pure fun, and I could ride it all day. So that is how I rank the roller coasters in Wisconsin. If you're a fan of wood coasters, Wisconsin is a state you should definitely check out. How would you rank the coasters in the Badger State? Or what are your thoughts on any of the rides I mentioned? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this countdown, I'd appreciate if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.